What's going on, y'all? Welcome to my channel. If you're a new viewer and you just clicked on this video, shout out to you. I appreciate you clicking on the video. Before I can get into all of these, super awesome and very in-depth buffs and changes to not only this Pokemon, but every single other Pokemon, I want to have a quick disclaimer for any new viewers who are clicking on this to pause the video and give the description a little read. There is a lot of important bullet points that'll explain the basics of this ROM hack and why things are balanced the way they are and my approach to things. It's not going to explain everything. I mean, a lot of that you might just learn over time or be able to assume, but it does have a lot of the key points. And then when you're done with this video, don't click off now because it'll mess up the watch time. But when you're done with this video, you can open up the Google Sheets. It's linked down below in the description. You can look at all the other changes for yourself. I have a playlist with all the other change videos. I have a playlist explaining more information about the hack if you prefer to listen as opposed to read. I have Discord server link down below, all of that really important shit. So give that all a look when you're done with this video. But yeah, make sure you pause and it'll just answer a lot of the simple questions you might have about why things are the way they are. With that being said though, Archaludon and Duraludon, these guys are sick, man. I love the way I approach changing these guys because I'll explain in a second. So a lot of people, the first and most obvious thing, because what most people know Archaludon for is like the stamina, right? So the fact that I took it away is like, most people might be like, why did you do that? Or why would you ever do that? It's so weird. So I tried to make Archaludon more based on like electricity and being more offensively oriented, and then Duraludon is more defensively oriented. However, they can both still be used offensively and defensively, right? Archaludon is still incredibly bulky, and of course Electromorphosis, which I'll cover why I chose that in a second, but that encourages defensive play. And then Duraludon can still be used offensively, switch it on a lightning rod, get a +1 boost. Even just 120 special attack on its own is very strong. It's fast enough to run Choice Scarf very reliably, all that good stuff, right? So I dropped Archaludon speed because I want to encourage the use of Volt Rush, because I think giving Archaludon like these pseudo electric type abilities is really cool. It's also why I give them a lot of electric type moves. I think Volt Rush on this like bulky ass Steel Dragon with these crazy coverage moves is so cool. Not to mention in terrain you get that Electro Shot and Steel Beam, both of which will give you +1 special attack now. Well, Electro Shot always did that, but yeah. Steel Beam is similar, although instead of being a charge move, it takes half your health, so they both have their own drawback. One of them requires Power Herb, other one, you just have to be careful when you click it. However, first of all, you can blow up slower things, right? Which is really good, especially with Mega Launcher. You can also use Choice Scarf Mega Launcher. 70 base speed with Choice Scarf in-game is pretty quick. However, there's something I do want to mention that is different from other older videos if you're a returning viewer. By the way, shout out to you if you're returning. Leave a comment down below if you are. So in the past videos, I've explained that IVs are going to be preset at 31 for all the eggs, and I've decided over time, this was not the reason I decided, it was actually somebody later down the line that made me be like, alright man, I'm just going to make the IVs lower for the player. I can explain that more in depth in another video, but the point is, you're going to get 20 IVs, so that versus the AI, having 31, so that makes the speed tiers a bit less overpowered for the player. However, Choice Scarf 70 base speed is still incredibly fast, so say you have a neutral speed nature, right? Neutral speed nature, you hit 342, which is still like, that's pretty damn quick for how strong Mega Launcher is. You're still hitting and outspeeding base 106 or 105. Anything with base 105 and below with a plus speed nature, you're outspeeding. And then otherwise, if you need higher speed, you'd run Volt Rush, right? That's part of the reason I lowered speed, is because I want to encourage the use of Volt Rush, which is such a sick concept on them, in my opinion. This like metal bridge dragon getting these like crazy electric type abilities, right? So yes, they get that pseudo electric stab in terrain. You can also use rising voltage in terrain for essentially a very strong stab electric move on top of your steel and dragon stab and your coverage moves. And then Mega Launcher, as you can see, every move that is bolded is Mega Launcher boosted. So Mega Launcher, I should have explained this earlier in the video, Mega Launcher might seem like kind of a weird choice. Maybe to other people it makes perfect sense, but for people who are doubting or thinking it's kind of weird or not the most fitting, this is one of the few mons in vanilla that gets both Aura Sphere and Dark Pulse, first of all, which is like, those are, in vanilla, those are like the Mega Launcher moves. So that alone is reason enough. I think that's very unique. Most Pokemon don't get both of those moves that aren't, like already a fighting or dark type, for example. Like Blastoise is one I know that gets it, Lucario, although he's a fighting type, but you get my point. A lot of those Pokemon that get that combination, like Clowitzer, for example, he's not fighting type or dark type, yet he gets fighting Aura Sphere and Dark Pulse because he's Mega Launcher. So I think they kind of were alluding to the fact that he could fit Mega Launcher, because he shoots big fucking things that are like his little cannon hands and in his back or whatever, and his little rails on the top of his head. I mean, yeah, he's fucking sick. So that's the reason for Mega Launcher. All of these moves are boosted, as you can see. You can also click this and it'll take you to a full list, but that's not as important when you can just see which is boosted. It will be helpful for the for bulletproof mons, but for Mega Launcher you can just look at the actual page and see what's boosted, what isn't. The actual effect and power of these moves is all different though. For example, Flash Cannon is 90, Dragon Pulse is 100, Steel Beam is obviously, I mean, Steel Beam with Mega Launcher is an absolute nuke that'll probably Yoko even like frail resists with ease. So you can run Choice Scarf or Quick Claw with Mega Launcher to get a couple kills or one kill, or you use Volt Rush if you need to be extra fast, or Electromorphosis, which is so cool on them in my opinion. You can run like even a just a tanky, first of all, just switching in, right? Because Electromorphosis is a stronger boost than Mega Launcher, right? It doubles the power of your next move. Yeah, it doubles the power of your next electric move. So, switching in and then getting that like absolute nuke of like a high voltage or Power Herb Electro Shot or Zap Cannon off is like incredible. I mean, it's super good, right? When you need that extra oomph on your electric move, of course. And then of course on a bulkier set with like Fortify is Steel type recover, and then you've got other stuff as well, like Recharge on Evolution, which is healing you by 1/3, and it gives you the charge effect, so you could use that with like Volt Rush or something. But excuse me, Jesus. Yeah, with Electromorphosis, you can use Fortify and Parabolic Charge and all these sick moves. I mean, it's so cool. It's so bulky. You can get somebody a Shockwave, you know, Electromorphosis. That's a priority move, Shockwave. So that's super cool with Electromorphosis. And then I just like the idea of them charging up when you hit them and getting these like electric type abilities. And I think Electromorphosis is a lot more unique and cooler than Electric Surge on them, especially because they already have Volt Rush. So yeah. And then Mega Launcher, like I said, I mean, as you can see, all these moves are boosted on screen, right? So you've got your coverage, you've got your dual stab, 150 base power, Dragon Pulse, hold on, 140 times 1.5. Why can't I do math right now? 70, 210, yeah. No, yes, 210 base power, Zap Cannon, you know, all these super strong moves. Even Tri Attack is 105 times 1.5. So that's, you know, over 150 base power Tri Attack. If you got Terra Normal, that'd be fucking dope. Terra Blast even is boosted, so you know, if you get any Terra type, you get a Mega Launcher boosted move. So yeah, all these super cool options for Mega Launcher are awesome on Archaludon. And as for the other stat distributions, I want him to be overall a lot bulkier, so I swapped the attack and HP because he's a pretty big guy. I like to base HP a little bit more on size. Spadef, I think, fits to be really high on Archaludon, especially when he's competing with a Violite Duraludon, which I can talk about now. So Stamina and Sturdy shifted over to Duraludon because I like Duraludon being the more defensively oriented. However, you can still use Duraludon offensively, not only with the Lightning Rod boost, but also just because it's strong on its own, right? And it's also faster. So Scarf Duraludon is faster than Archaludon. However, it's significantly weaker. Unless you get that Lightning Rod boost, then you're, you know, very strong. Not that 120 is bad, of course, but like Mega Launcher Scarf, you know, for example, is much stronger than regular Duraludon Scarf. But, oh, I forgot fucking Draco Meteor, man. Jesus, good thing I noticed that now. I'll figure out a good spot for that, but probably like here. Something like that. Yeah, good thing I noticed that, man. That would have been rough if I completely had forgotten about that. Could even put it over Dragon Balls low-key, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out after the video. Hopefully I don't forget to write. Let me write that down. Draco. Here. Totally forgot about that. But yeah, man, I fucking love these guys. So yeah, Duraludon, super tanky with the Violite. I give it even more HP. Its Spadef is still bad, but of course with the Violite and 85 HP, it's much. I mean, it's pretty damn tanky actually. Especially if you run an EV investment, max HP Spadef, and of course you got that Fortify. Stamina plus a Violite plus, you know, Steel Dragon plus 85 120 bulk is broken on paper. However, you're a crit magnet, right? If you don't get crit, sure, it can solo a couple Pokemon, you know, most physical attackers. First of all, there are a lot more guaranteed crit moves in this game. There's a whole list of them on the Google Sheet. There are several of them. I mean, not a lot. So that alone will punish stamina usage, but also just the fact that you could literally die at any point if you get crit, right? It's a very risky ability. I personally would only ever use stamina if I have no other option on my team to counter a specific Pokemon. Then I would go for it. But otherwise, it's very risky to play around with. I would definitely, to lessen the odds of being crit, I would like only use it versus a couple Pokemon, and then, you know, eventually switch out instead of pressing by luck. Lightning Rod obviously very good just to get that boost, and also you know, despite resisting electric, it does have a poor split F stat, so having that electric immunity versus like super high base power electric moves, especially in the end game, will be really nice on top of that free boost. And then Sturdy is just an incredible ability at all times, especially with item clause. So, I mean, even simple stuff. There's all types of ways you can abuse Sturdy, right? You can abuse Sturdy weakness policy, you can use Sturdy volts, which, I mean, Sturdy plus any utility move. I mean, it's got so many fun ways to abuse. So that's super cool. And then on the physical side, you can still technically use Archaludon physically. Not the best thing in the world, but it does get, you know, 100 base power Iron Tail. It gets Gyro Ball that lowers its speed. It gets tons of good physical coverage. It gets Dragon Hammer at level 35, which is super early for a 120 base power move, recoil move. Draconic Beam is the same thing, but special. However, it is, of course, level 60 because it's Mega Launcher boosted and very, very, very strong. But that's incredibly strong at the end game as well. Dragon Pulse alone is 150, right? That's super strong. Let alone Draconic Beam's 180. Zap Cannon, obviously, like I said, is super, super good. I will color in this Draco Meteor now, but I'm not sure what level. I might swap it around and push Dragon Pulse a bit later. I'll figure it out. I might move these around, but overall, I mean, yeah, this guy's super, super cool. I love the changes to him. It's definitely unique. I don't think most people would have expected me to like switch Sturdy and Stamina around and make Archaludon more of like the pseudo-electric type of guy. And I could have kept Lightning Rod on Archaludon instead, but I prefer Mega Launcher for sure. And I think Duraludon still has that connection to electricity, even if it's not as pertinent as Archaludon's with the Electro Shot stuff. Yeah, Electro Shot in general is great. I mean, obviously you could even use them in Rain. With you could use it, dude. You could like go all out and do like Rain plus Terrain plus Electro Shot plus Weather Ball or some crazy shit, right? You could get like crazy setup going if you wanted to. If you use like, I don't know, fucking Damp Rock and then pivot out and then Electric Terrain, then pivot out and then, you know, go crazy with your Archaludon. You totally could do that. Versus AI and, you know, with all of these move relinear options, you can really cook with your sets, which is awesome. I think I've covered pretty much everything. I mean, again, physically it's still pretty good. Even like DD late game on a bulky mon like this is pretty great. So you definitely still can use physical for certain situations. Also, it has certain coverage moves on the physical side that it doesn't get specially, like Rocks. Actually, it does get Power Gen, never mind. Earthquake. That's basically it. That's unique to the physical side. Of Zen Headbutt as well. Yeah, those two are the main unique ones. Everything else you have on the special side already, but of course, yeah, it is still very useful to use it physically for certain occasions or situations. And yeah, overall, this guy's an absolute blast. I mean, I would love to use both of them. Again, that Steel Beam with in Volt Rush specifically is incredible. I mean, not only can you use Steel Beam just as a nuke to one-shot something specific, but you can also use it to snowball because you get that boost. So if you run it in terrain, you get that speed, you Steel Beam, you kill one thing, now you're +1, you kill another thing, you know, with another move. With Parabolic Charge, you can heal your HP back. With Rising Voltage, you get the terrain boost. With High Voltage, you just have a strong, reliable crit move, electric move. However, the downside of High Voltage is it can't be used twice in a row. Meanwhile, Rising Voltage can and is actually just as strong. So if you're in terrain, you're probably going to want Rising Voltage, but yeah, you get the point. High Voltage is just a nice coverage move in general. I mean, Zap Cannon, Mega Launcher. I mean, this guy, I love him. I love the changes I made to him. I'm super happy with him overall. I was considering Battle Armor on Duraludon, but that is going to be on Shell Armor, Hisui, and Gudra, which is also a Dragon and Steel type, and I try extremely hard to make sure that Pokemon of the same type combo don't overlap abilities or overlap playstyles like that. So yeah, that's why no Battle Armor or anything on Duraludon. Bulletproof was on Komodo, for example, so that's why no Bulletproof on Duraludon. You get the point. There are a couple other defensive abilities I could have given. Filter is cool on paper, but it only has 2 weaknesses anyway. I'd much prefer Sturdy, especially with Item Clause when you can only run 1 Focus Sash per team. Getting that second, essentially a second Focus Sash is super, super useful, especially in a round hack like this. So that'll be nice. Very, very useful. Even if you are bulky with a Viability, Sturdy is still always going to be useful. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I'll be back for more buffs and changes coming up. Leave a comment down below if you made it to the end. I appreciate you very much if you did. Peace.